So,
No, not you.
Alex or someone. Keep going, I'm pretty sure it's staying.
I was joking.
Tire or something, let them do that.
You gotta try harder.
Well, the one thing that Alex did say, I wish I had said, was that when that plant reaches a million and a half, he wants to dig a foot for 3 blades. You know what I mean? When you get 75% capacity, that's what they want to be digging footers for.
The last thing before you fives.
Yeah, that's what I was just telling him a minute
So,
ago.
25 ain't hard.
I remember when it was 525,000 gallons, and then 600, and you were rated for 600, and then it got up to like 650, and you were still rated for 600. And I think it went even higher than that before you got in.
Yeah, we got in sevens there for a while.
Yeah,
I mean, so
yeah.
we're growing, and they had these developers choking down at that time.
Yeah.
They're balls.
You born?
They ordered it, yeah, we don't get one.
No. I was gonna say your shit.
It's just that, little lactose, we got the long ACT.
Yeah. They wouldn't do that.
I call the budget workshop for August the 12th, 2025 to order. And turn it over to our finance director. Thank you. Thank you everyone for being here this morning. It's been a long morning already, so hopefully we can get this early. The first section that we should replace. Go okay?
Yes, okay, I can hear you too.
Sorry.
That's okay.
Okay, on the first section that we gave you is the budget highlights. If you'll recall, that was in a Word document. We put this into a spreadsheet so we could start turning on and off projects and adjust the budget numbers accordingly. One of the things that I just want to mention on here are the items in blue under the amount are changes from our discussions on the last workshop. These are all the same projects that you saw, but when we were discussing, one item that has been added is the North Gateway landscaping. When we were looking at the planning meeting yesterday, I didn't see that in a budget list, so I wanted to make sure I pulled that in so we make sure that we get that addressed for the budget purposes. So we've added that one on here. Down to mosquito control, when we were talking about the fly balls, it was a 2-year supply that went up, and then the pallet stacker came in right before we had the workshop, and that went up to 15.
Okay.
Okay. And then over on the pool repairs, on the second page of that, the pool repairs, we knew we needed to do that. We're going to try to get that in before this fiscal year finishes, but this is the amount in case we're not able to get that. But that was the amount that it came in and quoted as. So we added that on here. Okay. And then there's no changes on the water and sewer projects.
Okay.
So the second column of that are items that we say we want to suspend the formal budget approval. Doesn't mean we're not going to approve the projects moving forward. It is a timing issue. The project might be 6 months, 9 months into the year, so by committing to it now, we're going to reserve the funds for it. And so what we want to do is say, these are things that we want to approve later as more information comes forward, and it will be later in the year that we come back to you asking for funds for that. So what we've done here is turn these items on that are pending. And the reason why we did that, and I'll show you here in a moment, is that it kind of alarmed us when we saw all of these projects come in at that last workshop. And as a result, that started a whole lot of discussion about how we're going to manage projects like this. So if you go to the next page, which has a little table that looks like all projects funding, this one here. This is the reason why we were alerted to it. When we first were in our workshop, we were looking at bottom line, all right? And when all these projects came in and were added on, we were like, oh, look here under the fund over under the 362, we knew that meant we were going to exceed all revenues, projected revenues. We don't have the final numbers, obviously. But, so what we had was a projection that we were going to spend more than our current year revenues. And that's what alerted us to this whole discussion on projects. So now we've broken this down between general water and sewer. And these are projected revenues and expenditures that we're setting for the budget. And as a result, the next page are most of the projects that are funded immediately, except for those that are highlighted in yellow that we know are going to take some more time and some more information before we formally approve those. And when you do that, you can see now each fund, general water and sewer, water is the only one that is overspent the projected revenue, and that's mainly because of the 3280 water tower. And we would pay for that out of our capacity fees. So the capacity fees are in the water fund, and it would be used to fund that underage for the year. But by doing this on these projects, that puts us in a good position to go forward and advertise that we have, our revenues are projected to exceed our current year expenditures.
And so all those projects will go onto our existing project list, and that's how they'll be managed, just like we do it anyway. Every 2 weeks, y'all get that
And
list.
as they start to take shape and they're brought forward and they are approved, we will then fund it out of the particular fund that's required. So hopefully that addresses that part. Okay.
I see on here we have 1.7 for the water tower, we just got approved for 1.472, so there's a couple $100,000 right there.
Well, and then Larry, that's also the 1.7. That's
Oh, we don't need it? Okay, well, never mind.
There's a lot that the city's going to be doing that we're not.
Now,
Good try, though, good try.
Thank you.
But when I saw that come through too, I'm like, let me make sure that they're okay with that. Yeah.
That's the important part to remember, and that hopefully, if the public would stop a second and think about, when they see we've got X number of dollars, we got a project sitting out there that needs to be paid for. So,
Yeah.
And we may get it started in this fiscal year and get some commitments on that, but if we know it's going to flow into next fiscal year, so we have the full amount. No changes in the projected revenues, so the reports that you had from previously is the same. The expenditures now, the sheets for that, you'll see most projects are funded immediately except for those that require further review, and that's that project list. So now this expenditure budget reflects all the projects that we had discussed before, and with the bigger items being set aside to be approved at a later time.
I have a quick question, Bruce.
So Bruce, underneath the equipment, and we were talking about the sound system and the sunshades, I wouldn't think that that would be something that we would have, that would take a while to do. I would think that we pretty much could find one and get that ball rolling. Is that being moved to the things like that we would be doing later in the year on the project list, or is that remaining in?
No,
Why is
that's
pending blank? I think we got confused because some things are in pending and some things are not. So
Okay.
what does that mean?
The pending is basically, we haven't made an official budget set aside for that.
Okay,
So that's what that
That's the
would be.
pending.
Not,
so that's okay, these are the items he's talking about. I guess the ones in pending are not okay?
right, which is.
They're okay,
Yeah, but it's not in.
We're on the wrong.
Right.
No, I know, but I'm saying there were 3 items in pending and then some
Oh.
items not.
For clarification,
Okay,
the numerical values in your pending section, those are the only ones in pending, or is it everything that has a highlighted section next to the budget entry?
oh, okay,
For clarification.
I understand it, they were hot, I did mention that earlier, the
Yes.
highlight in yellow, and that
Yes.
created confusion.
Right.
The ones that were in highlighted were the ones that we can go into this spreadsheet and turn on or off if we want to move it into pending. If there was some concern about committing to one of these projects, we could turn it to pending and it will adjust all these other reports for us.
Got it, so as of right now, they're
Right
not.
now, just the
Okay.
ones with numerical
for that
values
clarification.
are the ones that are pending.
Got it.
Okay, got it.
Okay, so the expenditures now, not only do they show the projects that we talked about, but it also has been updated for the salaries and benefits that we talked about with the $4 per hour for every person. And that's just
Right.
now reflected in here.
Right, I see that, thank you.
Okay. And so with that, if you go back into that top section, it basically shows you that with these projects in pending, we currently show that our projected revenues will exceed our expenditures in total for all funds by $587,000 for the year. So and that will basically indicate that we will have that reserve. We expect to have reserve. I gotta be careful about using that term. We will have funds available
Right,
in excess of what we actually
Right.
spend.
right. Okay. That's good to me.
One thing to point out too, though, and I think it's still important for us to discuss, is that this does reflect the increase on utility rates. So if you decide that those rates are not going to increase at that level that has been presented, this will affect the revenues,
Right,
The recommended
the
level.
recommended levels.
right.
In sewer.
Sewer and
Sewer.
water as well. It was recommended that, you know, you continue with the cost. October first.
So October first. And what, do you have those amounts that they told us what the percentage raise was gonna be?
I can get them off my computer.
Oh, I don't recall off the top of my head.
I think sewer was like
17.
17% for sewer.
What was water?
2.7 is the
Oh, okay.
CPI.
Okay,
Yeah, the bulk of the increase is going. in
right,
sewer.
understand.
It's just to maintain the,
Right. Okay,
CPI is provided by the Florida Public Service Commission
sure.
with water.
Which is the 270.
Yeah.
And so, will we have not approved you, so is that?
Not
gonna be
officially,
this? Or
you
when
have
do we
not
do that?
made a vote to approve that.
Do we need to do that soon, I guess?
But that would be the resolution.
August, next August.
Okay, thank you. Okay, thank you. All right. No worries, I appreciate it. That's great to meet you. Thank you.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you so much. So it looks like it's really kind of one higher year, and then the other years kind of stabilize out. Is that right? Okay,
Yes.
all right,
And it's mainly for the financing option.
sure.
I know with SRF, you go through copious amounts of information to them, then they come back and ask you more questions,
Sure.
and you answer those, and then there'll be more, and it's,
Well, I mean, everybody wants to know they're gonna get paid back.
Yeah.
How long you pay.
Sure.
20 million or whatever.
So the impact to the resident, it says, is 11.3% for that first year?
between water and
Yeah,
sewer.
And I think that's very reasonable for what we're doing, and then it's gonna go to 5%, which I don't think that's unreasonable with everything we have going on.
Well,
Personally.
you all, I believe, have the, Ryan from Ryan.
Right.
And he shows you in the little
Right.
scale with the rate increase and without the rate increase, and
Sure.
we're still right in the middle of the pack.
We were, and I was happy to see that we were in the middle, But we're putting in, millions and millions of dollars in new systems, so we have to go with that. That's great. Okay.
So does anybody think there's another need for another workshop, or we could let them go?
I'm good to go, personally. We've done a good job.
Thank you for all the feedback and all the communications. Thank you, Sarah. She's gonna be calling me and repping this time next year.
Next September.
We're gonna call. She's probably gonna change her number and delete all our numbers.
No, I won't do that either. I'm going to,
Okay.
I may or may not come. That's what I'll tell you.
Yeah.
So now we'll move forward then and get prepared for the public hearing.
Yep.
Sounds good. Thank you all.
Thank you.
That's that.
Workshop's adjourned.
Yeah.
I was crazy.
I called her. Birthday week. Oh, yeah, man. You can't make you sick.